That mean y'all got the rich plan?
Bro, we got. I don't know what plan we got.
They got the don't play with my money plan.
Bro, we got that. We got that Amazon Prime, bro.
Hey, if y'all ever try to say, hey, Reggie, we need to go to friends therapy, I'm slapping all
Yeah,
of
yeah,
them.
that's crazy. I'll lead the chat.
Man, that next morning I checked my attitude because I learned that it's not an automatic thing.
All right, welcome to another episode of the podcast. I'm Reg.
I'm Ham.
Wadley.
Kareem.
Hey, man, it's been a while since we shot, man. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of miss y'all boys.
I miss you too, dog.
This
Miss you
this
too,
guy
man.
over here took 2 weeks off,
Bro.
Just went incognito on us.
You're a world traveler, bro.
But
Bro, that
you
boy
have-
left the country, bro.
You have to see the world. You know what I'm saying? You see the world, you meet some new people, you bring some things back home, and you just get a new perspective.
You brought us some souvenirs, some gifts.
Bro, I have a motto, forget the souvenir, y'all should have came with
How
me.
long? Hold on. How long were you gone again?
That's not a bad take.
Bro,
Forget the souvenirs, you should have came with
Should
me.
have came with it.
yeah,
Yeah, that's not
bro,
a bad take.
I don't buy a souvenir, come with me.
Where you got that from?
I think- Instagram, I think it was on Instagram.
Cheap
but,
ass nigga.
And we all like,
Yeah.
That's deep. That's deep.
amen.
I got it off Instagram, but no, we were gone. We were gone a full, almost 3 weeks. Like we were almost gone 3 weeks. It cut up. It was chopped up. But it was almost.
How was that, bro? How was it?
It was amazing, man. It was a blessing. I mean, sometimes you really have to understand, like in life, they say it's not your story, it's God's story, right? So like in my mind, I never thought I can take that much time off. Like, you work
That's
in
good.
corporate America as well, you get 2 week vacation. So the fact that we were able to be gone for essentially 3 weeks, like, and while we're on vacation, me and my family, like, we were talking about, I'm like, man, like, look how good God is to us. Like,
Yeah, that's
we're able to be gone this long, and I'm talking about completely detached from work. Like, I wasn't checking emails. You couldn't call me. I didn't even pay for cell service.
That's beautiful.
I intentionally didn't do it.
That's
I was
good,
like,
bro. Cause it's hard to close that laptop, bro.
For sure.
It's hard because you see it online, you see it on TikTok and all that good stuff, and it's like, oh, that can't be me.
Yeah.
And then you actually living it, you're like, oh wow, this is actually real. Because
and
sometimes it looks like it's not even real, bro.
It feels better.
So,
It even feels better when like you come back and you're like, dang,
I did that.
I am refreshed. You know what I'm saying? Like just disconnecting for a little bit. I know that trip was lit. I was watching his stories.
Bro,
You
he
see
went on
that-
like the fastest roller coaster in the world.
yeah, dog, that was.
like-
Boy was like this on a coaster.
Bro, me, I'd have been crying. I'd have been, man.
bro, that boat that he was on.
fresh.
Bro, it
You
was-
fresh.
yeah, they.
Lee.
I had messaged. I think I commented on yours and Faye's story. I was like, bro, is this a cruise or a hotel?
You know what I'm saying?
Because that shit
Right.
was beautiful.
Right. It was
beautiful.
like the first day.
Yeah.
It was like the first
Yeah,
day.
yeah. Yeah, they had showed
I
up.
thought that was a hotel, bro.
Yeah, God is good, dog. Like from the room, like the amount of things, like there was some things I ain't want to post because I was like, bro, I feel like, you could be like showing off, but it ain't even showing off. It's just like
You just living, bro. You just
living, bro. You feel me? You worked hard.
You
for it.
worked all year, bro. You deserved it, bro.
I think
You worked hard on it.
You and your
yeah.
family deserved it, bro.
Yeah,
Right.
for real. Shout out to you guys.
Right.
But I think it's what you said. I think it's so interesting because it's like when it comes to what we post on Instagram, what we post on mainly Instagram. Like we're not on TikTok like that, but we post on Instagram. It's like I'll look at somebody else's post, like I look at your post, and it's just like if I didn't know you, like, and I'm not saying you're not doing well. Oh, this nigga rich. He got his whole family
Yeah.
in
Yeah, yeah.
another country for
Yep.
a certain amount of time.
Yep.
3 weeks. 3
Yep.
weeks, brother. I
Yep.
can barely stay at my house for 3 weeks.
3 weeks is crazy.
You hear me?
Yeah.
But you look at people's like social media and it kind of it's a highlight.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a bad thing. Like you said, like you were enjoying it. It's okay to post it. But sometimes we don't get to see like the low lights.
Right.
And
Right.
that really made me think about some of the conversations we've had in the past episodes when it comes to marriage.
Yeah.
Yep.
And some of the low lights that happen in marriage. Because like we said, I've been married 4 years. I think we talked about it last
5
time.
years, yeah.
4
4
years.
years.
And then
Yep.
three. So 5, 4, 4, 3. So
Yep.
on average, we've been married 4 years on average in this group. And we've all gone through some stuff.
Yep.
I know we were talking before the episode. I guess can you tell us a story, I guess, of one of the lowlights or the challenging times that you had in your marriage?
Yeah, man, yeah. And you brought up a good point. You said, on your social media channels and all that good stuff, you see the highs. So, we have our son now, and you see us like laughing with him, enjoying that family time with him. Like, oh my God, he's so cute. But a lot of times people don't know what it even took to have this child. So I would say definitely one of the lowest of the lows in our marriage was trying to have a child, trying to conceive. It took us almost 4 years
Wow.
trying to have a child. And you know, we went to the doctor, and the doctor's telling you everything is fine. So it's like at this point, it's in God's hands at this point. We
Yeah.
just got to keep the faith and stay strong. But you know, we're photographers, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of what we do is maternity shoots. Yeah. So a lot of times when we would go to a maternity shoot, it's like, of course, you're happy for that person. You know, everyone deserves their blessings, but at the same time, we're human.
Yeah.
So seeing someone like be on their second child, oh, this is my third pregnancy, and all that good stuff. And while we're just like, oh man, you know, like what are we doing wrong? Why us? So it's just like being for each other and holding that faith is what kept us going, because man, it was tough, bro. It was tough. Seeing
Did
those
you
maternity
ever-
shoots was tough.
Did you ever question like why me?
Oh, for sure. For sure. Like, I would say I'm kind of the more like stronger person in the relationship. You know, of course, with her, it was a much tougher for her. She's a lot more,
It's more personal for her.
yeah, she's a lot more.
Carrying,
She's the one
right?
that's
Yeah.
dealing with all
Yeah.
of these things. So of course, naturally, you're gonna think, "What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me?" So I'm starting to question myself. I'm like, "Dang, what's wrong with me too?" You know what I'm saying? And now I got to be strong for her, because we still gotta live our life.
Yeah.
We still gotta work. We still gotta make a living. You know what I'm saying? So being that anchor for her, and I thank God that He blessed me with the ability to hold that strength, because I feel like if we were both down like that, it would have been really tough. So, you know, I just thank God that I was able to be that anchor for her, stay positive. Even if I'm in the corner, like I might need to go in my little corner and cry on the side a little bit. But for her, I'm gonna keep that positive energy. I'm gonna keep those good vibes for her, because if I'm down too, then we both down, bro. So that was tough, man. That was tough. And we ended up getting pregnant naturally,
That's awesome.
and now we have a beautiful
Dirk,
15-month-old boy, man.
When did y'all see? You said it took 4 years. So when did you see like a shift? Like, or were you expecting a shift? Meaning that, like, did y'all? I know a lot of people do like IVF. It's called IVF.
Yeah.
In vitro fertilization, yeah.
Yes. So we actually started the process of IVF, and
That junk is expensive.
yeah, and a part of it was we had someone who, you know, helps us with our nutrition, tell us what levels we have that are low, like things like that. If you're like B12 is low, all that good stuff. So we really started making changes to our diet, and we got through the process. You know, she was doing the shots, she was doing the process, and we would even be at weddings. Like she'd have to go to the side at the reception and go to the bathroom while her brother would like help do the shots for her, or she would do it herself. And midway through, so before she had her, she did the retrieval of her eggs, but there's a month period in between where you put them back, obviously.
Okay.
And that month in between, she got pregnant naturally.
Wow. Y'all got your money back?
We did. We got our money back, man.
Hey, because I was mad
Money
as
back,
hell.
yeah.
You pull these eggs out.
They
I
did
got
that? You get your money back?
So not every plan is the same.
Yeah.
So IVF, every clinic or whatever they're called,
That mean y'all got the rich plan?
bro. I don't know what plan we got, but we got that plan, bro. I don't know.
They got the don't play with my money plan.
Bro, we got that Amazon Prime, bro. That was yeah, so the plan we had, if we were to get pregnant naturally, we would get refunded
That's
the
awesome.
amount we paid. And it, like you said, bro, it's not cheap.
That shit is not cheap.
Not cheap at all. And we got all of it back, bro.
That's awesome.
So I'm thinking about like, because I know it's such a, I don't want to say common thing, but I think it's a very common thing for people to struggle to have kids.
Yes.
And I know in Haitian, Jamaican, damn near any culture, as soon as you get married, the first thing is asking, when's the kids coming? When's the kids coming? When's the kids coming? And like for instance, even me and my wife, we consciously have chosen not to have kids yet, and we're hoping to start trying in the next year. But every time I go see my grandma, you know what she says to me? She says, "Kimbe la foi," in Creole that means hold your faith. And she's like, you deserve a kid. God's gonna give you a kid. Don't worry. And I'm like, I told my aunt, I said, Aunt, she thinks we can't have kids. And she's like, yeah, she does that with everybody. Don't worry
That
about
is
her.
so true.
But in those moments, like I think about it from, when I was getting bugged by my in-laws and my family about having kids, I'm like, man, what if Sophie couldn't have kids?
Right.
And you guys kept bugging her. That's a very triggering experience.
Right.
When things like that would happen with Sandy, how did you guys manage that? Or did it start creating rifts in the relationship? Like how did that?
Yeah. I don't think it created like a rift between us per se, because we were on the same page when it comes to that. So when people are saying like, oh, when are you gonna have kids? Or we need one coming soon, they act like, oh, you can just press a button and a kid pops out. You know what I'm saying? Like
For some people, you can.
right. It's not that simple for some people, but
Yeah,
sometimes We really believe in like the timing of things.
Yeah.
We think Isaac came at the right time
That's
because if it would have been so easy to have him, maybe we wouldn't have been tested at that time to keep us going and focus on other things like our marriage and things like that. So everything is a part of God's time, and we really believe in that. Even though sometimes we're like, God's timing, man. This hey,
Hey, big man.
what's the time? You know what I'm saying? So we were on the same mindset with that, with people being insensitive to like, when are you gonna have kids? All that good stuff. Like if somebody say something like that, we just look at each other like, they don't know. They don't really they don't think about like people are trying to have kids. So we were on the same page with that, and that definitely helped us a lot.
I would definitely say you opened up like y'all's situation opened up like a different level of thinking to me because when I found out about it, like my wife and I we didn't have our daughter yet, and I didn't even know people. I didn't even know that was a thing that like in my mind, like my immature mind, I just thought, hey, you want to have a baby? Hop in the room.
That's
Go,
it.
just don't pull out.
Right, exactly.
Baby gonna be there.
And that's probably me being from inner city, seeing people get pregnant at such a young age. I just thought I thought it was just automatic. I just thought it was on demand. So I never asked someone when y'all gonna have. Maybe it's the guy in me. I don't know. Like well, I see guys ask, and when the baby, I'm like, why you worried about someone having the
Never,
baby? That's
never.
so
Weird.
Like that's not even like a it's almost like people just use that as a conversation starter because they ain't got nothing else to talk about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I never came up to a man and be like, "Oh, when's the next
Nope.
baby?" But being around y'all, like once y'all made me aware of it, I start hearing it a lot. I hear it a lot. Like people like, "Hey, well, hey, you get married? When's that baby? When's that baby?" So like y'all made me very conscious because like at the time, me and my wife didn't want a child, and I was like, "Well, can like you mentioned, like I was like, can we have a child? Like, I don't even know, like."
And then y'all did.
And then we did, and then we did, and I think it's like God put people in your life because when we found out we were pregnant, like initially I came home at like 1 a.m. from working an event. She was like, "Sit down." In my mind, I was like, "Here we go." Like what? Like
Say,
what?
here we go.
You feel me? You feel me? Why is they just be so like extra sometimes? You feel me? Say, "Come on, sit down right here," and I'm like,
It's a whole event.
"It's a whole event."
yeah.
I'm like, bro, 1 a.m. Don't time. What you mean?
She sent you a calendar invite. Meet me here, bedroom. Like I live there.
I
What you sending me a
live there, you
calendar
feel
invite
me?
for?
And she broke the news to me, and she could just tell that like I wasn't happy, right? Like, cause it's just like it wasn't in my plan. But God has His own plan.
Yeah.
But the first thing I did, I checked myself. I was like, there's people who are looking
Yeah.
to have child.
Yeah.
You don't know if you can have a child.
Yeah.
The fact that you're pregnant, you don't know if you'll get pregnant again. And that like the next morning, I'm running, like, cause I was working out at the time. And
fit, you
those
fit.
are those are the things that's like playing in my mind as I'm talking to God. I'm like, bro, started apologizing immediately. I'm like,
Yep.
I didn't lash out at my wife. I didn't say anything. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I gave her like a fake sarcastic, oh my gosh, yeah. She could tell that I really wasn't happy.
Yeah.
But man, that next morning I checked my attitude because I learned that it's not an automatic thing.
Yeah.
Right.
That's dope.
Like it's funny, like me and Sophie actually, like I said, weird thing about having a kid next year. But just a funny, quick, short story. We had a pregnancy scare the other day.
A word.
Not a scare, but
It was a scare.
it was,
Do you want a kid?
huh?
Do you want a kid right
Let me
now?
tell the story. I don't want to answer the question until I tell the story. She went to the OB and she was getting doing some checkup and it was like, hey, we see something. Do you think you could be pregnant? Because what it was right where a pregnancy would be. So she's at the OB and she called and she goes, babe, hey, remember 2 weeks ago? Do you think that could have led to me being pregnant? I said, babe, there's no way you got pregnant off of what we did that night.
He said what we did.
What we did that night. You know what I'm saying?
Playing God.
I was like, listen, there's no way that you're pregnant off of that. And she's like, well, babe, the OB is saying that they see something and they think I'm pregnant. Well, it turns out she's not pregnant, right? But of course, we were very excited. We were very excited at the time if it turned out to be a pregnancy. But like in the group, like me and Hams, our couples. We're
Yeah.
the two relationships without babies. How has that been for you and Britt? I know we talk a little bit. Of course, that's your business. I don't get into it like that.
Yeah.
But how has that journey been for you guys?
We would love to have children right now. We feel like we would be great parents. Not only that, but we just feel ready. Like I feel like everything is in order. Obviously, there's certain things that we would love and don't have yet, like a home. Like I don't want to raise a child in my apartment, but I would love to have a child right now. It's tough. It's not easy. and I look to you guys, Reem and Wadley, as like motivation. Like seeing you guys with your kids, and seeing how you guys interact with them in your home and things of that nature. We're looking forward to it. Hopefully, God's gonna bless us soon. And man, and once that doctor or whoever tells us, or even Brittany, once she tells me it's happening, man, I'm gonna be ecstatic because we're both eagerly waiting a arrival for a child.
That's what's up.
Looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, man.
Be looking
Looking forward to it as well.
for
You
sure.
know,
For sure.
you said something like, I think it's because you were. I say because I'm Haitian, I
Yeah.
think this way, and because I was raised in a house, like we always had a home.
Yeah.
As far as I know, so like when we were like getting pregnant and stuff like that, like I was telling Faith, I was like, well, I can't have no baby in an apartment. Like I don't see an
Yeah.
apartment as a home.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like I see like in my mind, I'm like, we gotta have a house.
It needs to be
Yeah.
a perfect situation.
Right, exactly. So when you said you don't want a baby in an apartment, like I was talking that same.
Yeah, and not every circumstance is gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? I feel like it's so close. Like I can feel it. I just don't know when it's gonna happen. There's some days where I'm like, yo, this is
This is the one. Hold on.
You're like, hey, this is it.
Hey, hold on. Hey, hold on.
But this
Right.
y'all
You saw
can't
how his eyes
y'all
got?
can't
He
tell
said-
me sometimes.
He like,
You know this-
I know I hit the target. I know I hit.
Hey, that boy was putting to work. He said, you know what? This is the one.
This is the one. This is the one. That's he went. You saw his hand.
it was like
I know I hit it. Dead center.
Kind of going back to what you mentioned as well, like when it doesn't happen, it's like it hurts. You know what I'm
hurts,
saying?
man. It hurts.
So like when you were talking about Reg, when you were talking about when you're going over to your family's house and they're like, oh, it's not happened yet or blah 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 blah. My mom does that all the time, and it's to me. It's actually pretty annoying. Like I actually hate it because I know it's like really sensitive to Brit.
Yeah.
So if you're not gonna speak life into my wife, I don't want to hear your
You probably
comments.
give her a look too. Like every time they say it, you're like,
Yeah, I kind of give her a look,
you
and
go.
I really
Yeah.
sometimes I just want to like take her and go.
Just go, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you're not speaking life into my wife, I don't want you talking about pregnancy. Don't. My mom does this, like she go over and rub her belly, and she's like,
Yeah.
it's coming.
know though?
Yeah.
Does mom know?
She doesn't
The
know
situation,
that,
right.
She doesn't know the
Details?
Right.
details.
Does she
of
know
what
that you
we're-
guys are trying?
She knows that we're trying, right? And if it was my child, I would just let them like figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like if my mom and my mom is a very spiritual woman. If my mom would have took her aside and kind of like prayed for her and stuff like that, that's okay. But she like it's like a Haitian thing. Like she'll come over and rub the belly, and she's like, it's coming. Like
yeah, it's the
that's
same
that's
thing.
annoying. You know what I'm
So
saying?
how does
But
I think Caribbeans in general,
They
it's
gonna
the same
overstep
thing.
every
Yeah.
time.
yeah? We're something we gonna do.
it's
Like
it's
if this is boundaries, they finna.
Right.
They gonna hop them.
And
I was
I
gonna say
try
something
to
terrible.
go ahead. You
No, I'm not gonna say
Yeah,
it.
I was just gonna say and that's why I try to show them some grace
Yeah.
because I know that they don't mean to,
Yeah, they don't
to
mean
hurt
it.
your feelings.
Yeah, they don't
but it's
mean it.
like those little things are triggering.
Yeah,
you
it's
know what I'm saying?
true. And I don't blame her for it, right? I don't get upset. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's just when like obviously my family's the closest to me, right?
Yeah.
They know that we're trying, and they are as well eagerly waiting for a child, a granddaughter or a to be an auntie, to be uncle. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's waiting on the arrival. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna keep praying, man. God's gonna bless us soon because I feel it.
So how when,
Absolutely.
in times like that, kind of like when we're talking with Reem too, in times like that where you're getting the pressure and
Yeah.
you feel like you said it's not even like uplifting, it's more so like it's something that challenges you
Yeah.
and Britt. How do you and Britt manage that? Like, because I'm sure there's on the car ride home,
Yeah.
Britt might be emotional or you're upset, or how does that affect you guys and how do you guys maneuver through those moments?
We just do our best. Like when somebody kind of mentions a baby and stuff like that, we'll go home, we'll chat about it for a little bit, and then we move on because the topic is so sensitive.
Yeah,
Do you
tough.
feel like do you feel like you would want to like break through that barrier of y'all talking about it more at home?
Yeah, that's definitely something we can work on for sure. Because we can get down to like what's hurting you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
But the thing is like that's a great question because it's almost like I know what's hurting her, right? But maybe I don't know every single detail that's in her brain.
Right.
And that's a good challenging moment for me.
Right,
Like
because I asked that too because like in our relationship, I'm the one that's always like, we got to talk about it right now.
Yeah.
Like, let's solve this right now. But for her, it's a little bit more like, let me gather my thoughts.
Yeah.
Let me go back and just
I'm I'm
reset a little
I'm the
bit.
opposite. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm more of the, so like if we get into an argument, I don't argue. I think arguing is like a waste of time. Like what's the point of us both bickering? Nothing gets solved.
I like that too.
Nothing.
You're like
Listen,
that, you said?
Listen,
that too.
nothing,
You don't like to argue?
nothing gets
I don't
solved.
like to argue,
I
bro.
just feel like it's a waste of time.
It's a waste of time. You're bickering, nothing
Yeah.
gets solved, right?
It's
And
a
then
shouting
Brittany is like, no, I want to get in that. So I'm, going back to what you were talking about regarding pregnancy. I'm more of the person that's like, I'll be ready to talk when you're ready to talk. So I don't press it like you would. You know what I'm saying? Again, because it's so sensitive. I'm more like, hey, babe, whenever you want to chat, talk about it.
Yep.
I'm willing to. I could do a better job as a man of the household and pull her to the side and say, hey, let's go to God right now. You know what I'm saying? Let's
Yep.
just take 15, 20 minutes and just get on our knees and just go ham. That's a good challenge that you're kind of bringing up that I could do a better job at in my household.
Yep. I'll just conclude
good.
with this. Once we let go and really let God just take control, bro,
Yeah, that's good, bro.
Let go and let
I
God.
promise you, boom.
Let go, let
Just-
God.
That's beautiful.
That's it.
No, and I think the other challenge inside that, just not on just this topic, but just in general, as being the man and being the leader of the of your household, of your marriage, God challenges us to, when we're not, to always lead those conversations to Him, right? Like when and I feel like this because there's times where me and my wife, like, we do a daily devotional together, right? There's times like we're not seeing eye to eye. Like I'll probably like wake up in the morning and like there's something that she did just rub me the wrong way, and I'm like, bro, you have to remove your emotion and you have to go ahead and lead this conversation to God. Like, get into that prayer with your wife. And sometimes I feel like, I'm like, but why is it always me? Like, why do I always have to bring this up? Like, why do I? But it's because you're the leader.
Yeah.
That's why. It's you.
Yeah, that's good.
That's huge.
Yeah.
It
We
starts-
don't
it
want
starts
like we
with
don't
you.
want like the term leader to be like, oh, I run this house.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like you lead the foundation of this house. If you starting your day straight up like into conflict, then where's that gonna lead us?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, boys just challenged me today, man, to
No, that's huge.
Yeah,
to
man.
be a little bit more aggressive about this particular.
And not in a way it's like
yeah,
talk to me.
it's
No,
not
no, no,
yeah.
no.
It's-
I receive what you guys are, what you're saying. Like, I need to be a little bit more intentional about
Intentional is the right word.
this
right.
specific part in our lives and in our marriage, seeking what we both want, what both of our hearts want, and bringing it to God and telling him, hey,
point.
this was what we want, and we would love to see it come to pass.
And what it's about, it's not just about like I said, it's not to have a tough conversation, have a tough conversation.
Yeah.
It's in order for you to, she's able to express how she feels to you,
Yep.
and you express how you feel,
Yep.
so you guys can walk through it together.
Yeah.
Because what I love about what Reem would talk about with y'all struggles when you guys were having the challenges of having a kid is that you guys were on the same page.
Yeah.
So something like this happens, you guys both knew where you sat emotionally,
Yeah.
spiritually, mentally, physically with it. You know what I mean? And having those conversations allow you guys to both understand each other. And it can be tough, there can be tears, it's all that, but I think that's what marriage is about.
Yeah.
Right? It's about walking alongside with somebody in the deepest level of intimacy. And so what that means is emotional intimacy. So those things that you're challenged with, that deep down you're really challenged with, being able to have those conversations with your spouse. So like me and Sophie, like one of our lowest moments came from the inability of me to communicate how I felt about certain things. And so we had some challenges with different things. And for me, it became so frustrating, and I didn't know how to bring it up. Like, I think we were talking about it before the podcast.
yeah.
We were talking about how, like,
You were omitting information.
sometimes as
Withholding
men,
information, yeah.
we like to kind of be mindful of our wives' emotions or how she feels when we're talking about something, right? And so we try to like this is how we really feel, and we try to pull
conversation.
this part off and pull this off and give her a polished answer,
A filtered version.
filtered version to control how she reacts. But the naked truth about marriage is it's not that you need to be unfiltered and reckless with what you say, but you have to be able to be real.
Right.
And like I said, with me and my wife, one of the lows that we had came from me not having the ability to be real with how I felt about certain things.
Right.
Because it's not fair to her.
It's
not
because
fair to
she's
her.
not seeing the real me, and then also it's not fair to me because
Right.
then I didn't realize this through therapy that I realized, wow, the reason I was growing resentment for my wife was because I feel like I wasn't connected to her, but the reason I wasn't connected to her was because I wasn't telling her how I felt about certain things.
The
and
domino effect. Wow.
and just from not communicating how I really felt and how these things were frustrating and challenging me, started driving a wedge between us. And now we were living the way the therapist said, you guys are just living parallel. Like we were like roommates at a certain point.
Like just business
Yeah, we
partners.
share a room.
Right.
You know, we share an account. It wasn't no true intimacy. And so, and I'm not even speaking on this as if like I had the master. There's still times to this day where it's like it's a challenge for me to really speak about how I feel about certain things, because especially something like having a kid, it's
Absolutely.
so personal to you, and it's so like it's very intimate to who you are as a person. And so it's like being real about that can be very challenging. And so I think, like you said, I think the gym for you, like you said, is taking away that, hey, having those tough conversations with your wife or being intentional about speaking about it so you guys can be on the same page is beneficial to you guys, just the health of the relationship. And sometimes, like, I'm not that spiritual to where I'm like, oh, you need to learn that before you have the kid. But what you realize in tough times in marriages is that how you learn how to evolve through those tough times is more important than what was actually tough.
Right.
So, and I'm not trying to speak that on
Right.
on your situation, because that's
Right.
not our situation. But for me and my
Right.
wife, the difficulties that we had, granted, we didn't have to go through that, but me realizing
Shaped
that
you.
it shaped me to be a better husband.
Right. Man, that's a good point. The actual challenge is not as hard as how you actually deal with it.
And the value of a challenge in your life is to develop your character.
Right.
And so that's where, like, you know,
That's marriage.
So true.
You
bro.
see
And
what I'm
that's the
saying?
tough part too.
it's
Developing your character.
it sounds good, but it's not easy though.
It's not.
Right.
It's not at all.
When when the pastor at the wedding ceremony says, "Hey, after this wedding, it's just y'all two."
Yeah.
You see all these guests here, all these people saying congrats, all that good stuff. But when after the wedding, who do you go home to?
Yeah.
It's just y'all two, and now y'all got to navigate this thing called life together.
Yeah.
If marriage was perfect, then
It wouldn't be a
it
50%.
wouldn't even be.
I was gonna say the same
Everything
thing.
is just flowers and everything. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I think these are the things that God throws at you to help mold your marriage, and I think it's very important to help shape your covenant together. Yeah.
I agree.
It sounds like all in all, it comes down to, not all in all, but like the main factor comes down to communication, right? And I think as men,
One of the biggest things.
I know for me, like we all deal with this. Is like we want to communicate, but we communicate with the filtered version to not hurt their feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you always want to keep their feelings in mind, especially with a topic like this, pregnancy, right?
Yeah.
Or
Anything.
whatever, anything. Really.
Anything.
No, anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
Like even like a tire.
Bro, that could be an
Even-
argument too.
A tire. Like sometimes
I
like
know anything in marriage could be an
Anything.
argument.
right,
anything.
anything. Like my wife would throw something on, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't like this. How do I tell her I don't like this without pissing her off?
Right, right.
Like, cause I want to have a good time. You feel
Right.
me?
I'm just trying to have good vibes.
You feel me?
And I think because we're trying so hard to like make everything good, I just want to have a good time. I don't want to hurt you. That actually makes the situation worse. Because
Exactly.
we're omitting
Every
information.
time.
Yep.
We're omitting information.
Yeah.
And what makes it worse is when you omit the information, you're not being real to her, right? Now you're bottling that in. So the next time she throws something on that you don't like,
You get even madder.
now you even mad. And now you have a silent attitude.
Yep.
And the best part is
attitude.
she put
What's
her,
going
she,
on? Nothing.
she put her shit on thinking she looked good, and the whole time you in the corner like, I can't believe this.
Like,
Where's
damn.
the rest again, man?
Like, you good? Yeah, nothing. You good?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
So you
and, then,
bottling
and then
in.
my wife would be like, "Did I do something wrong to you?" And in my mind, I'm like, "Yes, you did something wrong to me." But I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
no." All right, but it's like, but that's
Yeah.
why we have to communicate better. And I think we just, like Reggie said earlier, we just have to unfiltered, but with respect.
Yeah.
Like
Good.
I'm being, because like this marriage thing, like the pastor would say, it's just y'all two, like iron sharpen iron. Like we're here to get each other better.
Yeah.
So I don't have to be rude to you. I don't have to hurt your feelings to get you better.
Right. Yeah.
I can just be I can be real. I can be real. And I think it's also on the one that's receiving it as well, right? If when you're on the receiving end, like your partner can be real to you, and your partner's not trying to hurt you. They're trying to get you better, because at the end of the day, when your partner steps out here and look, whatever amazing thing your partner's doing, it makes you look amazing too.
Yeah,
Like
That's
it's
huge,
a reflection of you.
Yeah.
Having that understanding, like, look, like, I'm not coming for you. This is us helping each other out.
Exactly.
So whenever you feel like, if you feel like I'm trying to check you, or the way I say it, let me know.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm literally just doing it because I want you to be better, and with you being better, we'll be better.
Exactly.
So,
Like
good.
we started the episode off with like social media and how like see people see you on social media like I'm gonna just go down the line like your wife is in a Tesla like I never like if I see a
Just threw
woman
it
in a
out there.
Tesla and she's married I don't think that I'm like bro her husband is doing like he's doing what he's supposed to be doing.
She is well taken care of.
Well taken care of, right?
Like,
So that's why
like
it's
what's the issue? Right.
bro. Like you showed up today.
She got a Tesla.
They
Right,
can't be having problems.
Right.
She has a
The
Tesla.
car drives itself.
Exactly.
Like,
It has a glass roof. There's no problems in relationship. Not at all.
the car asks you what you need.
Exactly. So, like, it's a thing. Like, you showed up clean today. When I see you dressed well, I'm like, Britt dressed them well. It's just I don't even. But it's like, but it's just like in my mind, I ain't think like, nah,
You see your wife over that person.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
good.
like, how many dress himself? That's great.
You know what's funny? I saw this thing on TikTok.
Hey, he ain't lying though. By
That's
the way.
wow. That's good.
Brittany pick all my outfits. I told her this morning.
That's good.
I told her this morning, babe. We starting to shoot a lot.
Right.
I'm gonna need a whole set.
Right. Hey,
Bro.
my wallet, my closet looking kind of empty. You know.
I'm gonna need a whole set.
Right.
Listen, every time I get dressed, my wife would tell you if we were put her on the podcast, she'd go in on my ass. I'll go through like 15 different outfits. But I always I always ask her like even sometimes when I'm not going out with her, I send her a picture. I'm like, babe, yes, yay or nay? Because I'm like, because like you said, like she dresses. But I saw this thing on TikTok. It was talking about how for men, like I don't know how if women are the same way, but
Yeah.
for men, a lot of times when we see. If I meet you and I don't know you like that, but then I see your wife, it tells me everything about you.
Yeah, that's good.
So for instance, if I see you, because for like certain guys, I would say I'm a little more high maintenance, right? I'll wear jewelry, blah blah blah. Most guys are just like very basic, like we'll just put on whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
But if I see your wife and like she look like she's not well taken care of or something like that, then I'm like, oh.
It says a lot about you.
But if I see your wife and she's got designer, she's got she's nails done, hair done, then it's just like, oh okay, she's well taken care of.
Right.
But that's interesting that you
Right,
say
right.
that.
Bro,
Right. Wow.
it's a team sport.
It is, bro.
It is.
It is.
Bruh.
You all
So-
you got, bro.
Yeah.
All you got though.
Yeah.
So
That's one of the tough things, especially in arguments in marriage, is trying to, and I struggle with this greatly. I'm not trying to say that when I speak, guys, it's not because I'm saying that, oh, I got to figure it out. I'm saying that this is where I struggle.
Yeah.
Understanding that it's not you versus your spouse in the argument, it's you guys solving a problem together.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it can feel like that,
Yeah.
you know?
you got that off of therapy because my therapist told me that.
Did she? Or he or she?
Yeah.
I probably did. I got
Me and
to
my wife had our little scruffles. Like it was like you need to attack the problem instead of attacking each other.
Wow. Because a lot of times we do that. Like we come for like what you did or what like you would see. This is why you always like this, but you don't attack the actual issue.
Yeah, that's really good.
good.
That's a good gem.
That's good job.
Wow.
But no, you're talking about therapy. I don't know if you had any stories you wanted to share about tough times that you and Faith have experienced in y'all marriage.
Majority of the lows in my marriage comes with me. It just comes out to communication. It's just me omitting information. Like I hold back information to not upset my wife, to not like hurt her feelings. And in reality, when we did therapy, she just wanted the real me. Because with the real me, it allows her to know, because she has this thing like how to be the perfect wife, which when there's no such thing. But it's like if I'm omitting information, she's trying to be perfect to something that she doesn't even understand what I'm really looking for.
It's like, and sorry to cut you off. It's like sports. If you prepping, you got game film of another team, and you're trying to prep to not say attack their zone or whatever the case is, but you don't have the complete film. You're gonna get into the game. You're not gonna see. You're gonna be like, "What is this? I don't know what this is," and you don't know how to play the ball.
What these boys running?
Yeah, I've never seen this before.
Where this
You see
coming
what I'm
from?
saying?
Coach.
and so, no, I think that's a really good point, like you said. But yeah, sorry to cut you off.
No, but that's pretty much the basis of it. I mean, one time we got into like a real bad like argument. I called my wife out her name. I should have never did this. I mean, I was in the doghouse. I think I was in the doghouse for like a year, bro. Like,
You ain't get out yet. You ain't get out the doghouse.
A year?
That boy's still in there, man.
He's still in the doghouse.
I'm finally on the other side, man. But
You sure?
but I'm on the other side. I'm on the other side. I crossed the bridge not too long ago, but it's like it's with communication. I was able to cross that bridge because like in that like something happened and she brought it back up and I was like, hey, listen, if we've healed from this, we did therapy, we say we moved on from this, then we moved on. Or if we haven't moved on, then you can continue bringing it up. She's like, you know what? We moved on. She's like, I've healed from this. I'm not gonna bring it up no more.
That's a
Man,
good.
that's
That is good.
But it was all gone because as I'm saying it to her, like I said it and I was like waiting for her response, and in my mind I'm like, why did I say that? I'm like, I'm like, where did that come
yeah,
from? I'm
yeah,
like,
Crying into
dang.
bitching.
Bruh, it
I
was-
never thought about it the way you just
Yeah.
the way you just like you
Yeah.
argued about something, right? And then you just move on. But did you really heal?
Right.
Did you really let it go?
Right.
Or is it one of those things that's just like, you go do something else and then you bring that back up? Like,
because if you've
don't
really
think of-
moved on,
exactly.
something is gonna come up later where it activated
Correct.
what happened
Correct.
before.
Correct.
So
But it's not
that
fair
is
to
that is good.
that's
Bro.
that's wild.
good.
it's
Like,
not fair to
wow.
that person though. Like, let's say, like, just as men, like, let's say if I break, say I broke Homley's phone, right? We went to friends
Friends
therapy.
therapy.
Like, if I
Yo,
break,
hey, if y'all ever try to say, hey, Reggie, we need to go to friends therapy, I'm slapping all
Yeah,
of
yeah, that's crazy. Don't y'all ever text
Sorry,
me
sorry.
that.
no,
I'll lead the chat.
you feel me? But it's like if I break Homley's phone, right? And I replace his phone, you feel me? Let's say he's just mad about the situation. I replace his phone, I apologize, like, hey bro, it's all good. Now down the line, something else happens, and he brings up, hey man, oh yeah, just like how you broke my phone that one time. It's like, well, it's not fair to me because if we move forward and we move past it, we move past it, right?
Yeah.
It's probably not a good example with men and friends, but like
No. That's a great point.
but it's just like, but that was just something. Just I feel like it was just a mature step to take. And she was like, "Hey, you know what? We moved on from it. You know
Yeah,
what? You're
that's
right.
good.
I'm not gonna bring it up because at the end of the day, when someone, if you do something wrong to someone and they bring that up, it kind of
They still feel
attacks
it.
you
Yep.
too. Cause
Yeah.
like, bro, like,
Yep.
like you calling me a fraud or like you
Right.
feel me, or
I thought we was over this.
I thought we was over this.
Yeah.
Like I'm over here thinking I'm doing better as a person. It's just like
Right.
if you keep bringing it up, that means you still holding on to it, or I'm
Right.
still. I kind of feel like I'm still that person, which I thought I'm not. So
It's good.
so yeah, man. I mean, it's amazing. So I know I'm out the doghouse because
Hey, good work, player. No, but you said something that made me think, and this is the last, I guess, thing I want to kind of discuss. When you talk about healing, and it's interesting because like something like, for instance, with the situation you mentioned, there's times where you and your spouse go through something, whether you wronged her or she wronged you, and she can heal from it, right? But let's say she tells her girlfriends or her sister or her mother, she might heal from the situation,
Yeah.
but then her counterparts didn't.
Yeah.
And so like you're saying, like for you and her, it's like,
Be
okay, we're
careful when you
good.
share that information too.
exactly.
There we go. So I guess in times that are challenging as couples in marriage, how do you pick and choose when to involve? Because I know even with that situation you're talking about, I remember we talked about in another episode, you talked to us about it. You see what I'm saying? And even I think I don't remember if like corporately, when I say corporately, like me, the couples, me, my wife, you, and your wife, if we talked about it as a group or not, I don't remember. But I remember it came up before, you know? And so how do you choose, or how do you kind of navigate how to involve people into your mess in a sense?
I only do people that's like really close to me, and not only close to me, but that's gonna add value to what I'm going through.
That's huge.
So I actually don't talk to my parents about anything in our marriage. Like
good.
I'm telling you, like nothing. When even when Brittany decided to quit her job and go full time with me, Brittany was like, because my dad worked across the street. He worked at a college across the street from Brittany's bank, and my dad would come in frequently to cash his check or put money in his account. And Brittany was like, what am I gonna tell your dad if he doesn't see me at the bank anymore? I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's not his business. It's our business. Like whatever we got going on is what we got going on. Whether we choose to tell them or not, we choose to tell them. But regarding my parents, I don't tell them jack. Like my mama and my daddy don't know nothing. But believe it or not, I tell you guys like more because you guys add value to our marriage. You know what I'm saying? And not only do you guys add value, certain similar things that we're going through, you guys have been or are going or are it's
Just like a version of it.
yeah, or there's like a version like I'm trying to buy a house. You're in a home. You're on your second home.
Yeah.
You
We
have
can
a
all
home.
relate.
We're
We're
trying to
in
buy
the same
home.
path
You know
right
what
now.
I'm
We're
saying?
trying
So
to-
we're all motivating. We're adding value to the marriage. So if you're adding value to my marriage, I'm sorry, I can care
Yeah.
less who you are, but
Yeah,
you
right.
don't know nothing.
To piggyback off what you asked, like who do
Yeah.
you share with, right? Someone went on Twitter and was like, venting is a scam because
Yeah.
you over here expressing your emotions,
Yeah.
and all you're doing is giving somebody ammo to use
Yeah,
it against you.
and it's too many hands in the pot, bro.
Right, you gotta
Can
be
you think
careful,
about if
bro.
you told your mama, your daddy, your cousin,
Now
your
everybody
auntie,
knows.
bro. Like everybody's gonna have something to say.
And again, that's still not fair to your spouse
Exact-
either,
and-
because now they looking at them a certain
Exactly.
way.
Yeah.
If you
So,
keep it tight and you
Yeah.
just that intimate circle, 4 or 5 people that's like really close to you, and they have to add value. I think that's
have
the
to.
biggest thing.
That's a fact.
sure.
And I think the adding value part, it doesn't just go into when you're sharing with people so that they're not upset at your spouse later on, but it's
Exactly.
also how you manage through
Yeah.
it, right?
Right.
And so in some of my difficult times in marriage, I went to people that didn't add value to what I was trying to go through.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so I'm not saying they steered me on a certain path. They encouraged, or we had discussions about certain things that wasn't supportive to the issue I had.
Yeah.
Right.
And so adding value, like finding people that add value to your situation is valuable. And I think we talked about this before in another episode, but one of the critical things in, I think, a successful marriage is getting around folks
Yep.
that can support you.
Yep.
And like you said, it's not to tell your business in tough times. It's that if you need to talk to somebody,
Yeah.
Right.
having trusted people that you can confide in.
Right.
I think
And
that's
sometimes
super
they may not be the people that you grew up with or have history with, because they may not be at the same point in life
Yeah.
as you.
Facts.
So you may have been, I've known so and so since I was in kindergarten or whatever. It may be someone new in your life that you can connect with, that you can share that information with, because I'm really big on this. Like, you got to be careful who you share your life with, because
That's huge.
they can use that against you, and now they feel like they know more of you than everybody else. So
Yeah.
they start putting themselves in a special place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Like, they're like,
No,
oh
that
yeah,
is true. That is
you did
true,
that on
man.
March 4th, right? I remember that. Yeah, I'm like, now you think you know me,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
really you don't know
Yeah.
me. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
Yeah.
So I really take that seriously with keeping it between your spouse, and then from there being very careful who you decide to get help from, because
Agreed.
not everybody has your best interest.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
Just a joke on that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
even with this group, like when we see y'all out with someone that's not in the group,
Hey, I be watching y'all stories like,
coming up, huh?
I be watching y'all stories like, who
that
the
was one time.
Like, who this?
who the hell?
Bro,
What the hell is
Right.
this?
Funny,
Right.
man, because there was one time, man, y'all was
real,
out with
though.
some folks, bro, and I felt some type of way, but I checked myself, and I didn't bring it up to my wife.
Yeah.
The next morning,
Yo.
somehow we fell on it, and I was like, I thought I felt some type of way, but I didn't feel like, she was like, well, I'm glad you said something, because I thought
Yeah.
I was tripping when I felt some
I
type
thought
of way.
I was tripping. Yeah. Yeah.
We just truly enjoy each other's company.
Yeah.
But it's
So-
true,
Yeah.
but it's just to piggyback off of what you're saying, like, sometimes people could think they know you so well that they are, like,
They're the closest to you.
they're the closest to you. Like,
Like,
if
I'm
you hang out with
special.
somebody else, or if you go do something with somebody else, they feel like they could feel slighted, like, oh, like, I'm supposed to be your BFFFF.
Right. Right.
Like, well,
Oh, I
don't-
saw you on so and so yesterday. Oh
Yeah.
wow. When I'm gonna get my time? Like,
Exactly.
we ain't married. I got one wife.
But I think it's just human nature, right?
Yeah.
Human nature. You build the bond with people, and after a while, you kind of don't want to share them with other people.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Like,
We get what you're saying.
Nobody likes to feel replaced.
That's dope.
exactly.
With this. When I be looking at y'all boys' story and I'm like, it's so funny. So even like last night, y'all was hanging out. I was like, why wasn't I invited?
Well, so I'm glad
I was free.
but it's funny
Right,
what you said,
right,
because
right.
like
I'm
I'm joking though.
No,
Yeah.
no. But like, to my mind,
No, I'm saying.
but in my mind,
And when you said it, I'm joking. And you're like,
Speak for yourself.
like, cut that.
but in my mind, on the way down, I'm like, dang, like,
Should we
why
be
don't
invited?
I was like, why don't we invite everybody? Like, but it's
No,
we
what the
Yeah.
hell?
We don't have
Yeah.
to do that all the time,
Yeah.
bro.
You
No,
know,
no,
but it's
I-
just
it-
human
yeah.
nature.
Yeah, no,
but
I
in
get
my
what you're
mind,
saying.
like my subconscious, I'm like, dang, like, why don't we invite? But it's good for you just to
have a
hang
good
out
heart,
one on
bro.
one sometime.
Yeah.
I was
Good
I was
heart.
working anyways. I would have had came anyways.
I mean, I was free, but no, I really do value that though, like, cause like even like the other night, me and Sophie was in your neighborhood. And we pulled
Yeah.
up on you. You
Yeah.
know, we'll
That
pull
was
up on you
cool.
guys sometimes.
It's
We'll
you-
pull up on you. I think
Coincidence.
I think there's value in like
Yeah.
we don't all four have to be. It don't
Yeah,
have to
for
always
sure,
be
for
right.
sure.
But still, it'd be nice when y'all hang out.
It is.
saying.
So.
Especially y'all was out till late. Y'all know I like to be drunk late. What are we doing?
That's to me. I'm like,
I'm surprised.
vibing, I'm
Right,
like-
right,
I'm
right.
Like, Reggie would have had like 3 drinks by now. This is like,
You kind of start putting like, what would Hams do in this situation? What would Reggie
like,
do
bro,
right
Reggie would
now?
have a blast here. This is his back.
Especially with all these.
Honestly, that's why I was offended because I was like, these niggas know I would have had a good time. They didn't invite me.
Right,
Like we had a
Yeah,
great time, but in
yeah,
my mind,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, bro, Reggie would have enjoyed this more than anybody.
right,
That's funny.
right.
Like, I was
I think because we're trying to like foster our individual.
Yeah, we have to.
relationships
Yes,
as
We
well.
have
have
to.
to. You
If
have to.
it's just here and here,
Yeah.
we're not growing.
Right.
That's true,
We're
too.
not growing. We
Because
each-
as a group, I don't want us to be so like cliquish.
Yeah,
Like
and-
okay, well, so and so gravitates towards this person or that person.
We all,
We all
we,
have
should
to.
be-
we all have to mix
Yeah.
it up.
And that's why, like I said, I try to be very intentional. That's why, like, I don't mind hanging out with you guys on a double date, pulling up on you guys.
Yeah.
I don't mind it because
Right.
we need it, you know?
Right.
That's good.
No, I think we talked about a lot of really good stuff today. I feel like with marriage and relationships, like we talked about earlier, it's a lot of times you see people's highs.
Yeah.
And that's okay, right? Because you don't want to tell everybody your business.
That's what you're gonna advertise.
That's what you're gonna advertise the
highs.
highs. But there are lows in marriage, and I think that you guys dropped a lot of gems as to how to navigate those lows in marriage. Whether it's, being on the same page in communication, which honestly I think was the core thing is communication. But it's not just
Absolutely.
speaking, but it's also the other person understanding.
Yep.
And then as a man as well, we're challenged with this, but it's being able to communicate how we truly feel.
Yeah.
And not with holding or filtering information.
That's good.
So y'all boys, hey, this was a good conversation.
This is great, man.
Guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.